Chapter 1: The Boy with the Quiet Dreams. In a small village nestled between the hills and the river, lived a boy named Petter. His house was made of mud bricks and had a rusty tin roof that groaned every time the wind passed through. Petter lived with his mother, a kind woman with tired eyes, and his younger sister, Mira, who still believed the world was magical. Petter's family was poor. His mother worked as a cleaner in the village school, and sometimes took on extra jobs like washing clothes or tending to the fields of richer villagers. Petter, though only 12, helped her whenever he could. He carried water, gathered firewood, and looked after Mira when their mother was out. Despite the hardships, Petter had dreams, quiet ones. He wanted to learn English. He didn't know why exactly. Maybe it was because the tourists who came to the village sometimes spoke it. Or maybe it was because the teachers in the school, the ones with degrees, spoke it fluently and with confidence. It sounded like power. Like freedom. Like the future. But in Petter's school, English was just another subject students memorized to pass exams. The teacher often read from the textbook in a flat voice, translating everything into the local language. Petter wanted more. He wanted to speak, to understand, to live in the language. One evening, as Petter sat near the river watching the sun dip behind the hills, he made a vow. I will learn English. No matter what. Chapter 2: The First Steps. Petter began with an old English textbook his mother had found in the school storeroom. It was missing a few pages, and the cover was torn, but he treated it like treasure. He read every line, whispered the words aloud, and tried to imagine what they meant. Good morning. How are you? He repeated it 100 times. He said it to his reflection in the river. He whispered it to the goats. He even taught it to Mira, who giggled and repeated, I'm fine, thank you. But Petter knew that just reading wouldn't be enough. He needed to listen, to hear how English sounded. One day, he saw a group of tourists talking to the village guide. Their words were fast, musical, and full of emotion. Petter stood behind a tree and listened. He didn't understand much, but he was fascinated. Later, he went to the village cyber cafe, a tiny room with 2 old computers and a slow internet connection. He asked the owner, Mr. Sharma, if he could watch English videos. Mr. Sharma looked at him, surprised. You want to watch English videos? Why? I want to learn, Petter said quietly. Mr. Sharma smiled. That's rare. Okay, you can watch for 15 minutes every day. No charge. Petter's eyes lit up. He sat down and typed, slowly, English speaking for beginners. That day changed everything. Chapter 3: The Digital World. The videos were magical. They had pictures, sounds, and faces that smiled as they talked. One man said, repeat after me. Hello. My name is Alex. Petter repeated. He listened, paused, repeated again. He wrote down every new word he heard in a notebook. He practiced speaking at night when everyone else was asleep. Sometimes he got stuck, and sometimes he mispronounced words. But he didn't stop. As months passed, Petter's vocabulary grew. He started understanding simple conversations. He even tried to speak to a tourist once. The words came out slowly, but they came. Hello, my name is Petter. Welcome, our village. The tourist smiled and replied, nice to meet you, Petter. Petter's heart raced with joy. It was working. Chapter 4: Obstacles and Mockery. Petter's journey was not without challenges. In a village where people struggled for their next meal, learning English seemed like a luxury. His classmates mocked him. "Why are you trying to speak like the foreigners, Petter?" one boy jeered. "Do you think you'll become a big man just by saying hello?" Another laughed. Petter felt the sting of their words. There were moments he wanted to give up, moments when he questioned himself. But every night, when he opened his notebook and read those carefully written words, dream, hope, belief, he remembered his promise to himself. His mother noticed the change in him. "You stay up late these days," she said one night. "I'm learning," he said. "English." She didn't stop him. She smiled and said, "Then learn with all your heart." Her support was quiet, but it gave him strength. Chapter 5: A visitor named Mr. Daniel. One summer morning, a man named Mr. Daniel came to the village. He was from England, there to study local traditions for a project. He spoke no local language, and the villagers struggled to communicate with him. One afternoon, as Mr. Daniel stood confused at the market, Petter approached him. "Sir, you need help." Mr. Daniel turned, surprised and delighted. "Yes. I'm trying to find someone who can show me around." "I can help," Petter offered. And so began a new chapter in Petter's journey. For 2 weeks, he guided Mr. Daniel around the village, explaining places, customs, and even food, all in broken but growing English. Mr. Daniel was patient and kind. He corrected Petter gently, taught him new words, and encouraged him to keep going. "You have a good ear," he told Petter. "And a good heart. That's the perfect start." Before leaving, Mr. Daniel gave Petter a gift, a second-hand English dictionary and a letter. In the letter, he wrote, "Dear Petter, never stop learning. You have more potential than you know. The world needs voices like yours. Keep going. Your friend, Mr. Daniel." Petter read that letter 100 times. It became his motivation, his secret source of courage. Chapter 6: The Turning Point. With Mr. Daniel gone, Petter returned to his routine, but he was different now. He had tasted the joy of real conversation. He pushed himself harder. He saved money to buy a cheap earphone, so he could listen to English podcasts while working in the fields. He started reading English newspapers donated by a local shopkeeper. The words were hard, but every sentence taught him something new. One day, the school announced an English speech competition. Most students rolled their eyes. But Petter saw an opportunity. He enrolled. The topic was my dream. For 2 weeks, he prepared. He wrote his speech in his notebook, corrected it with help from Mr. Sharma, and practiced in front of a cracked mirror at home. Mirror clapped after every rehearsal. Finally, the day came. Petter stood in front of a crowd for the first time. His heart pounded. He looked at the audience and began. "Good morning, respected teachers and friends. My name is Petter, and today I want to talk about my dream." His voice trembled at first, but grew stronger with every word. He spoke about his desire to learn, about Mr. Daniel, about the power of language. When he finished, there was silence, then loud applause. He didn't win first prize, but he won something greater: respect. Chapter 7: Spreading the Flame. News of Petter's speech spread through the village. Children who once mocked him began asking him questions. "How do you say this in English? Can you teach us too?" Petter began holding free sessions under the old banyan tree. He taught basic words, common phrases, and even sang English songs with the kids. He made it fun. The village elders watched with quiet pride. The boy who once followed goats was now leading a change. His mother, watching from a distance, wiped her tears. "Your father would have been proud," she whispered. Petter smiled. He could feel it too. Chapter 8: The Unexpected Call. One humid evening, while Petter was helping Mr. Sharma at the cyber cafe, an email popped up on the screen. It was from the National Youth Language Program, a government initiative promoting language learning among rural youth. Mr. Sharma had quietly submitted a recommendation for Petter along with a video of his school speech. "Petter," he said, waving him over. "You've been shortlisted for a scholarship program in the city. You'll study English for 6 months, with the best teachers." Petter stared at the screen, his mouth open. He reread the email over and over. I can't believe it." "Believe it," Mr. Sharma said, eyes twinkling. "You earned it." But excitement was soon followed by doubt. Petter had never left the village. How would he live in the city? Who would care for his mother and sister? That night, the three of them sat together in their small room. Mira hugged him. "You have to go, Bio. You always tell me to dream big. Now it's your turn." His mother nodded, tears in her eyes. "We'll manage. You just make us proud." Chapter 9: New World, New Challenges. Petter arrived in the city with a small bag, a heavy heart, and eyes full of wonder. The city was noisy, fast, and overwhelming. The scholarship covered tuition, accommodation, and meals, but it did not protect him from homesickness. The Language Institute was filled with boys and girls from all over the country. Some were confident, others shy like him. The classes were hard. His English was still broken, and everyone else seemed better. On the first day, he could barely introduce himself. He wanted to run away. But then he remembered Mr. Daniel's letter. "The world needs voices like yours." Petter made a plan. He would practice harder than anyone. He would read 3 pages of English daily, learn 5 new words each morning, and speak only English during class. He joined an English drama club, where he acted in short skits. He struggled at first, but slowly, he learned to express himself. The applause after one of his monologues was the first time he felt truly confident. Chapter 10: The Interview. Near the end of the program, the students were told they would appear for an interview, a mock job interview, conducted entirely in English, to test their communication skills. Petter prepared like his life depended on it. He practiced answering questions, improved his grammar, and even watched videos on body language. The day before the interview, he stood before the mirror, adjusted his shirt collar, and said, "Good morning. My name is Petter. I'm honored to be here." The next day, when it was his turn, he walked into the room with a calm face and a racing heart. The panel asked him questions. "Tell us about yourself. What challenges have you overcome? Why is English important to you?" Petter answered every question with honesty. He spoke about his village, his mother, his dream to become an English teacher and inspire children like him. When he finished, one of the interviewers smiled and said, "That was the most heartfelt story we've heard all week." Chapter 11: A New Dream. Petter returned to the village 6 months later, holding his certificate and a letter of recommendation. The whole village came to greet him. Even the boys who once mocked him came forward and clapped. Petter didn't stop there. He opened a free English learning center with help from a local NGO and Mr. Sharma. He called it The Voice Within. He taught children under the same banyan tree, but now with better tools, materials, and even online resources. He used stories, games, and songs to teach. His motto was simple: learn with love. One day, a journalist came to cover his work. The article titled, "From Village Boy to Voice of Change," went viral. Donations poured in. Soon, Petter had a small building with 3 rooms, a computer, and bookshelves full of English novels and dictionaries.